Hi again, this is Glenn Gruby, and today we're going to look at stress and the relationship between stress and the thyroid. It's very common to have stress disorders overlapping with a thyroid problem or a thyroid problem being caused by a chronic stress problem. The body's stress response and thyroid function work together like a seesaw. Actually, when one is overactive, the other is underactive, and so chronic stress can have a big negative impact on thyroid metabolism, and we're going to look at that today. So first, we need to define stress. And really, stress can come from anything chemical, physical, or mental in nature. And it's anything that pushes us out of balance. It can be food, low blood sugar, toxins. It can be mental, emotional problems, for example, problems with finances or problems with a relationship. And also physical things like physical pain, too much exercise, chronic muscle tension. So we have to understand that all of these things contribute to our stress. And what happens is stress produces a unique effect. The way that the body responds to stress is that the adrenal glands produce high amounts of cortisol. And high cortisol decreases thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, which is the hormone that tells the thyroid to make more T4, the thyroid hormone. It also has the effect of shutting down the conversion of T4 to the form that the body can actually use. Essentially, when our body is under stress, the thyroid shuts down. The adrenals respond to the stress, and the body doesn't need to produce extra energy. The adrenals are already helping with that. And so it shuts down the thyroid production, and it also shunts it to another hormone called reverse T3, which is an inactive form of thyroid hormone. Stress also deactivates the basal metabolic system, your basal metabolic rate. So thyroid controls your temperature, and it controls your base metabolic rate. But when you have a significant stress, the thyroid cannot keep up with the demands of this stress in terms of helping produce more energy, so the adrenals kick in to deal with this stress, and this has the effect of shutting down the thyroid activity. However, chronic stress is going to burn out the adrenals over time. Too much chronic stress will burn out the adrenals. This is when you can no longer deal with the stresses or you hit a wall, and this can get into a state of chronic fatigue, for example. Adrenals are not meant to be overactive all the time. We were meant to only have short-term temporary stress responses. So you can have fatigue due to many things, including poor adrenal function and poor thyroid function, and often both are involved. We can measure this high stress burden sometimes by a hormone, as I mentioned before, called reverse T3, because this goes up when your stress response is high. Your body will shift its thyroid hormone conversion to reverse T3. And it's something that the body uses to preserve thyroid hormone when it's not needed, and it's really an inactive form. So we'll see this value high, indicating a state of chronic stress, but it may also indicate nutrient deficiencies. Adrenal support alone can be a little bit disastrous. Our goal is to reduce stress, not just manage it, even if that means managing it with a herb or a nutrient pill. We don't want to just dump adrenal support into your body like a drug. We want you to reduce your stress and help your body naturally to reduce the stress level. So adrenal support is important, but it can also give you an artificial sense that you're improving. But really, we need to find ways to reduce the stress response separate from adrenal support. Next thing to know is this is very important. Chronic stress will make menopause worse. So women don't realize that menopausal symptoms are not normal. And the reason they're not normal is because your body has compensatory mechanisms when the ovaries start to shut down estrogen production. And that comes from the adrenals. The adrenals are supposed to take over for ovaries as they shut down. But if the adrenals are burned out or dysregulated, then they cannot do this, and you get more severe symptoms of menopause. Women really are not meant to struggle with menopause, and some cultures actually have no phrases for hot flashes. But in our high-stress world, many women have burnt out adrenals by the time menopause hits, and so they do suffer with unpleasant symptoms. Stress has a significant impact on menopause, and there's a big connection between stress, menopause, and thyroid problems. So, as we've mentioned, kind of to sum up a little bit, there's a tremendous overlap between the thyroid and adrenals. And it's important that you work with someone who understands the difference between an adrenal issue presenting as a thyroid problem and a thyroid problem presenting as an adrenal problem. Unfortunately, we can shed light on this by doing the right tests and looking at all of your symptoms together and trying to understand this interrelationship. It's also important to identify and address any lifestyle issues that you may not be aware of that might be negatively affecting your health. And the last point I wanted to make is that acupuncture is great for reducing stress. I really have found nothing better than acupuncture for reducing stress. It's known to calm down the sympathetic nervous system and help normalize the stress response. It's kind of like popping a balloon, the way it helps people to relieve their stress. And many patients report that with repeated treatments, they find themselves calmer and less reactive in typically stressful situations. So I would encourage you to get acupuncture if stress is a challenge for you. And I think it augments any of the functional work we do here at the Functional Health and Acupuncture Institute for those who have adrenal and thyroid related health challenges. So I hope this has been beneficial for you. Please share this with anyone if you think it would be helpful for them. For more information, you can go to our website at fhainstitute.com, and thank you for